Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Chef Aaron. Today, we're going to be setting foot in Eastern Europe as we explore the country of Lithuania. Now, this country was kindly requested to me by none other than Kristina DeLuca. As always, thank you for your request. I'd like to give a big shout out to you, and I always hope to receive more requests from other people sometime soon. Okay, so Lithuania. Out of the three Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, and this one, Lithuania is probably my number one favorite of the three. And the reason is because it just has a very medieval atmosphere. It's very spooky. And you'll see what I mean in a moment. I'm going to talk about two popular landmarks, the first being the Hill of Crosses and the other one being the Hill of Witches. Hill of Crosses being in Šūlė and the Hill of Witches being in Klaipėda. And the Hill of Crosses is a very spooky site pilgrimage, and it's just about 10 to 15 kilometers northeast of the city of Šūlė. And it's just where people go to put their crosses to, I guess, remember people who have died, or just something they do as a tradition. And the Hill of Witches is just on a little island off the coast of Klaipėda, which is on the very western side of the country. And all you can see there is really, when you climb up a hill, you can see a bunch of statues of witches. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so I'm going to start my review off by talking about the largest and capital city of Lithuania, which is called Vilnius. And I really like the city a lot because, as you can see here, there's a lot of medieval spooky buildings. Like as you can see in this photo right here, you can see a very creepy looking church that's very artistic in design. It looks very skinny at the very top. It has like very skinny looking twigs on the top of the roof. And also, if you look at this bird's eye view of the city, you can see a lot of like blue, sort of futuristic colors. You can also see a lush green field. It's a very interesting city. And like I said earlier, it's definitely my favorite of the three Baltic countries, Lithuania. Okay, so now I'm going to shift my attention over to the second largest city in Lithuania, which is called Kaunas. And this is a pretty interesting city as well, because not only is it very colorful, but it's also very ghostly in appearance. As you can see here, the buildings are very dark in colors. It's rainbow colors, but it's also very dark. And as you can see, you can also see some more cathedrals that look very haunted, I guess you could say. And it's just a very interesting city. Okay, so now I want to talk about the fourth largest city in Lithuania, which is called Šūlė. And this is probably the creepiest city in the country, like hands down. Because not only does it feature the Hill of Crosses, which I showed earlier, which is just 10 kilometers outside of the city, but you can also see some other creepy tourist attractions, such as the Iron Fox right here. And it's just right in front of Lake Tolksa. And another creepy tourist attraction that you will find in the city, I guess you could say, is this Cathedral of Šūlė. Once again, it has like a very creepy design, which is what I like about Lithuanian architecture. And yes, it's just a very interesting city. Okay, so to wrap up my review, I'm going to talk about the rural parts of Lithuania now. And as you can see here, you can see a little bit of vegetation that looks similar to what you would find in Canada, because it's very green and it has a very like sort of harvest feel. It's very interesting. And as you can see here in this other picture, you can kind of see a little bit of green vegetation that also looks similar to sort of like Western Canada, like Alberta, sort of. It's very interesting. Okay, so overall, I would probably have to give the country of Lithuania an A-. Okay, so without further ado, let's head up to my kitchen, and I'll show you how to make the beetroot soup. Okay, so in order to make the Lithuanian beetroot soup, the ingredients you'll need are as follows. We have in this bowl 1 pound of red beets, which we boiled for 30 minutes, and then we peeled, and then we transferred them to the fridge for 1 hour. You want to boil them for 30 minutes, and then you just want to peel them and then transfer them to the fridge for an hour. And then afterwards, when they're cold, what you want to do is you want to grate them, and you want to make sure they're into little pieces like this. And beside the beets, we have this cooking liquid that came from the beets. And when the beets cook, they're going to leave you this liquid, and what you want to do is you want to separate this from the beets after they've cooked, and you just want to keep this in the fridge for an hour as well. And as you can see here, I have my eggs. Now I've separated the egg yolks from the egg whites. You want to chop up the egg whites into little pieces, and you want to make sure that the egg yolks are just separate in a separate bowl. And we just boiled the eggs so that they're hard boiled. And over here I have 4 cups of buttermilk, and I have 2 green onions which have been chopped, and I have a cucumber which is chopped into 1/2-inch pieces. I also peeled it, and I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt right here, and I have 1 cup of sour cream right here, and we have some salt and pepper to taste over here, and we're going to use this dill as a garnish. Let's get started right now. Okay, so in the small stainless steel bowl, what you want to do is you want to take your egg yolks, and you just want to pour them in here. And you also want to take your little 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and you want to pour it in the bowl as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mash the egg yolks so that they're nicely crushed and they're nicely blended with the salt I just put in. And it should look something like this. And yes, doesn't this look good? Just want to make sure it's evenly mashed. You just want to keep doing this until you get all the little pieces. This should be good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my green onion and I'm going to add it to the mixture like this. And I'm just going to toss it all around. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to take the cooking liquid from the beets that you made, and you want to take your buttermilk and you want to add it to the liquid along with the sour cream. So I'm just going to take my buttermilk and I'm just going to add it to the liquid like this. That looks good. I'm also going to take my sour cream. I'm going to add it to the mixture as well. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to grab a spoon like this, and you just want to make sure you're stirring the liquid gently so that it doesn't splash everywhere and you're not making a mess. You just want to stir it like this so that all the sour cream is dissolved along with the buttermilk. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to add all your other ingredients to the mixture now. So I'm going to take my beets, add them to the mixture like this. This is good. And here's my cucumber. And I also have my egg whites. And I also have my egg yolk mixture. I want to make sure it's all into the soup. And once again, I'm going to take my spoon. And once again, you want to make sure you're stirring gently. And it should turn into a nice pink color. And whoa, look at the magic! This is looking really good. Nice beetroot soup. So the next thing you want to do is you just want to take your salt and pepper shakers. And you just want to season it according to your taste. So you just want to make sure you're using a little bit of salt all around. Just like this. And same thing with the pepper. Just want to make sure you're grinding some all around. It's nicely seasoned. And once again, I'm going to take my little spoon and I'm just going to stir it gently so I'm not making a mess. Okay, let's see what I think of this. This tastes really good. Tastes the sour cream very well, as well as all the vegetables. The beets are fine. This is good. Okay, so here's our cold beetroot soup. I've garnished it with some dill, and we've served it with some Triscuit crackers and rice crackers. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.